One of the most common questions you're going to ask yourself as you build web apps is, I have this piece of state here. Should I put it in global storage or should I keep it in a local component? I think the main reason people struggle so much with this question is because they don't really understand the idea of a unidirectional data flow. A unidirectional data flow is when you have a central store of data and you have your views, which are your components, and then you have your actions or some sort of functions. All of your data always travels in one direction. From the store it goes to your view triggers actions or callbacks or whatever it does, and these then go back to the store and make changes. So the idea is that your data always flows in a single direction, which makes your app easier to debug, easier to think about, and all those really good things. But trouble often arises when people take this idea too far and have only a single source of truth, so a single data store for their entire application, not just for things where it's related. I also used to suggest this approach, and I think it's an approach that a lot of different educators in the React space are suggesting, but people take it too far, and it's a common source of problems where you end up with your redux store, for instance, that is just way too big, impossible to deal with, and it makes your app actually harder to debug and harder to use. Essentially, I like to split my web app into areas or widgets or whatever you might call it. Areas or groups of components that are dealing with the same problem and have to work in unison, and have local state for those, and then use global state to kind of communicate between them and make sure that the entire app works. So the rule of thumb is local state for things that are closely related, global state or the main data store for where large parts of the app have to communicate and agree with what the truth is.